G'day guys, Chris the Ultimate Recycler here. Welcome back again to the storage shed at the shop. I think we're up to episode 40. Today we're going to unbox a very heavy steel army box. I have not looked, I don't know what's in there. I'm guessing shed tools, could be all sorts of treasures. Don't know, let's get it through to the counter and open it up and release its magic. Okay, another heavy box. I'm getting a workout with these boxes. It's a little rusty. The box itself is maybe a 70s Army's box. We should get $20 for that, but let's see what's inside. That's going to be more exciting. Okay, well, these come off. There we go, it's not too bad. Oh, lid's wanting to come open. What do we got? Oh, we've got a real mixture. I don't recognise anything much immediately. We have some tape of some sort. It's not sticky tape, just plastic tape. I'm not sure what that's used for. I don't ever remember seeing that before in my life. I have some newspaper and a tin for Dundee Shortbread. Brockhoff biscuits were a Melbourne company in the 50s, and that says Christmas greetings 1957. So Brockhoff were taken over by Arnott's, I believe, and Brockhoff did use tartan patterns quite a lot. And that's got something in it. What's in there? It's a hinged tin. So the tin's quite nice. I think the tin's maybe $20. Have to check eBay, it might be a rare one. Okay, we have a comb and a couple of timber or wooden cotton reels with cotton. The cotton won't be any good. And some nail clippers. And a name there which does not ring a bell with me. So yeah, nothing much for the contents, but a really nice tin. What's this newspaper? A large ad for Winfield cigarettes. But it does have the smoking warning on the bottom of the packet, so I'm guessing it's probably late 70s, early 80s, perhaps into the 80s. And it's 83, it says on the top of the paper there. And it's the Sun, Melbourne newspaper. Your Cup Souvenir. Is that, I think that might be when Australia won the America's Cup in the sailing. Australia too. Well, there we go. Is that when Bob Hawke wanted to give us all a day off? So yeah, it's a souvenir from the Australia's Cup win with the famous winged keel. There's a bit of history. So I don't know that that's going to have very much value. People tend to keep these souvenir newspaper things, like even issues like the end of World War II and the moon landing, all those famous events. They're not actually that valuable because a lot of people kept them. I'll have to check that out. Okay, in here we have a bit more firewood. We're getting lots of firewood lately. There's a cylinder here. Oh, it's actually got a handle on it. It's a large dipper, but I think it's stainless steel. It's much heavier than your normal dippers. Could even be homemade. It looks like the way the weld's been ground there. I don't think it's a commercially made product. I'll just get a magnet and see if it is stainless. So stainless steel is general. Well, there's lots of different varieties of stainless, but normal quality stainless is non-magnetic, and it's way too heavy to be aluminium, which is also non-magnetic. So I think we'll be able to sell that. It probably weighs about a kilo, but stainless steel isn't worth enough to scrap it. I think we'll get $10 to $15 for that. It's been welded around the base, quite nicely made. All right, a stainless steel dipper and our firewood. And what's this? We have top oil valve lubricant. That's a pretty nice old tin. Bardahl, world's #1 seller. Corporations in Seattle, USA. And that's a sealed tin. Still full. So that may well have a bit of value. It's a valve lubricant. So I presume it's like an upper cylinder lubricant in a car engine or something like that. It's a shame it wasn't Golden Fleece or Shell or a well-known oil company. I haven't heard of Bardahl or Bardahl, but still could be quite valuable. I'll have to do some checking. We have some patching rubber, self-vulcanizing adhesive face. Cycle tube patching rubber, there we go, number 3, that's pretty cool. And it looks like it's just a roll of rubber with a sticky back. I'll leave it in there, I won't take it out. Leggett's were a well-known bicycle repair kit manufacturer. I don't know if they made other things, but I've certainly seen plenty of Leggett's tins. That's a nice little go-with collectible for a cycle collector. Rightio, we have just a standard little brush here, not much value there. Just a piece of steel. We have some chain. This is a real mixture. This has probably come out of someone's shed just like this. It hasn't been packed by me. A nice ornate shelf bracket. It's a shame it's not a pair of them. A plastic funnel. A nice old carpenter's hammer. And it should have a brand on it somewhere. I might have to clean that one up. The claw part looks pretty good. It's not all chewed out. And the hammer face is actually really neat. Nice little chipped around the base. But sometimes they get quite abused. This one's still got a nice shape to it. I think it has got a brand there somewhere. I can't quite make it out. The handle is a bit split. It's worth a quick buff up to see if it's branded. It's not going to be worth a fortune, but if there was no brand and if it was a modern hammer, it'd only be probably even in a $2 box or maybe $5. But if it is a good brand, I'm trying to think of some hammer brands. Cyclone maybe. There was a famous one, I can't remember it. But if it's got a good brand on it, it will make a difference to the price. Some more chain. This is some galvanized chain. And a little bit more chain here. Now we have some spanners and bits and pieces in the bottom. A file handle. Quite a vintage ruler. It doesn't look in very good condition. Oh, this is a nice old spanner. So it's an open end at one end and a socket the other. It has a number on it. It's possibly a machinery or an implement spanner. I have to clean that up, see if it's got any branding on it. A Wiltshire file. Quite a few older spanners in here, so we will check some branding. I think that might be a Singer. It's got an S. I might show you when it's branded. I can't make that in camera. I'm not sure you'll be able to see it or not. That's a Whitworth size, I think, too. Another little one there, which is possibly a Snail brand. Okay, a nice larger one there. That is a larger Whitworth spanner. It doesn't appear to be branded. A spanner pressed from sheet metal. So they're generally a much cheaper spanner and usually given with machinery as part of a machinery toolkit. A nice large, there's some pretty old tools in here. Large S-shaped spanner, open ender. Can't see any branding on it. Another Whitworth one, this one is branded. It says Equip. It's 1/2 inch Whitworth one end and 3/8 Whitworth the other. So these are going to be probably $5 each or so. Rarer brands can get good money. That doesn't seem to have a brand on it. Ferguson spanners can be worth quite a bit. Here's an English one here. But it doesn't really have a brand other than sizing. I'll take these home and buff them up on the wire wheel. That's just a pressed spanner again. These will just go in the $1 box or $2 wheelbarrow or something. A part of something or other. It's quite worn, so it's probably been removed from something and replaced with a new part. So probably just scrap metal, a little bit more timber. All right, we have some more spanners. Doesn't appear to be any brand on that one. Nor that one, but these are really early, chunky, heavy spanners. Most of them, there's a couple just pressed ones again. So not much value in those. I won't clean those ones up. We have a couple of socket spanners or tube spanners or box spanners, I think they're called sometimes. Probably more of a spark plug size one, that one. That one's a bit bigger, maybe for lug nuts on something, but they're fairly thin, so you wouldn't do up wheel nuts on a truck or something like that. You just never would get the torque on it. So not much value in those either. A few little bits of metal, bits of wire, all sorts of stuff in here. That's just a piece of metal, but it's bent as if it was to hang a sheep's carcass or something, like a butcher's hook. Another pressed out spanner and another one. A clamp, that's like a TV antenna clamp. Very early, I was going to say a screwdriver, but it's not. It's got a forked foot on it. I wonder if it's been modified, perhaps just for removing tacks or something. It's quite an old one, but I don't think there's any real value there. A little auger bit that's been quite abused for a drill brace. And your normal selection of punches. That's a punch that's been made from a large round file. A huge big nail. That's a decent nail, isn't it? A little flexi drive socket driver made in Japan. A few random pieces of metal. Another pressed, that's like a little angle grinder tool with the two knobs here to turn the collar that holds your blades on. More random pieces of metal. That's a very early lawnmower blade that's been well used. And then there's, oops, I'll put those down. Then we have a whole selection of files, triangle files. That feels new, that one. Large, I think they're called bastard files. That's made in England. And a finer one there. More files, they feel quite worn. That one's been broken at the end. Another well-worn one. So the well-worn, these will just go in the scrap metal, probably the well-worn ones. Although, I think I'll put them in the wheelbarrow I have here, which is $2 a pick. Except for that good one. I think that I might even take that good one home. That's a really good coarse file that feels quite sharp to my fingers. But all the worn ones I'll put in the barrow because people buy them for making other things out of it. It's really good quality hardened steel. And I know some guys have made knives and things out of them. So we'll give them a chance before they go to scrap. Like a coal chisel, I think this is for brickwork or masonry work. It's been well used. Look, the head's all flared out. So I don't think there's a lot of value. A very rusty old bulldog clip. A little tin square, no marks on it. A little, oh, that's freshly sharpened. Nice sharpened point on it. Nice coal chisel. Another, oh, that looks like it's just a blade off a screwdriver that's been used as a coal chisel. Possibly a farmer's box, this one. They tended to improvise all sorts of things and turn them into punches, chisels and hammers. There's another coal chisel that has been sharpened. A little square punch. I think that had a letter on it. Yeah, it looks like a letter C. So that's out of one of those, I don't know what you call them. They're a hole for impressing marks in steel. And you had the whole alphabet and a set of numbers, and you could stamp your name into your tools. A little driver from something, a random socket, another, oh, that's another letter one. All right, we've got two of those. What are the odds of the letters being my initials? Now it looks like we have a C and a D. Okay, what's down the bottom? That looks like an early tyre lever. And oh, that's from a spirit level. That's the brass plaque off a spirit level. We had a couple of spirit levels in our last unboxing. A Sydney company, that one. That might polish up nice, or it'll just go in the brass scrap. I think I'll polish it up. I think I'm likely to sell it. It's not worth much for scrap. That's a sharpening stone. Unusual shape, possibly for a scythe or something. We have a selection of drill bits in the bottom. And And we're just about done. Last few things, a triangle file, another little punch, an old bolt, some hardware, another triangle file, a bent 6-inch nail, drill bit, oh, another one of these letter things. I think it's an F. Shame we haven't got the full set. Another, that's not even a nail. Just checked, it's not stainless, it's normal steel. Couple of bits of hardware, a random, geez, that's a very coarse hacksaw blade, and a torch, which may or may not work. Doesn't have batteries in it. That's the end of our box. Oh, this little steel skewer. So we've got a lot of quantity and not really much value, but I will clean up those spanners and I'll show you what they look like, see if there's any good branding. Our box is probably the best thing out of the lot. So yeah, I'll clean them all up and show you the spoils when I've done so. With everything cleaned up, we can now go through and have a look at what treasures we did actually discover. A few things I've discovered about these spanners. This one is had a number on it somewhere here, 2335. Apparently that is a Model T Ford combination spanner, head bolts and spark plugs. So sometime between, I think, 1908 and 1927, that would have been in a Model T Ford toolkit. They're quite common, but it's still a nice find. I think I went $10 on that. And to swing from Ford to Holden, this Equip spanner, I think it was Australian-made Whitworth spanner to suit early GMH vehicles, possibly FJ, FX, so around about 1950 era for that one. We'll go 10 on that as well. There's a few of those around too. This one's unbranded, but if you have a look at the metal, I believe this is blacksmith made, and the S-shaped pattern is quite an early pattern used on early vehicles, machinery, wagons, and possibly dates to the late 1800s. No brands, blacksmith made perhaps. I'll go 10 on that as well. The rest of them I went $5 each on. Some weren't branded, that was just made in England. Just some sizes on some of them. They cleaned up very well. All I did was buff them up on the wire wheel and then just spray a bit of WD-40 on them, wipe them over with a rag. They look really good. This one, I thought it looked a bit like a Singer S, but it's actually a Snail brand, that one. Another Whitworth spanner. This one didn't have a brand on it. But yeah, really nice spanners, and they really look great now that they're sort of cleaned up from the rust. These two are branded Gregory products, Gregory Steel products. They were Melbourne made, I believe. And this one's got some notches on the side, which owners sometimes did to identify their spanners. And I think there's a few of them here that had two dots punched in. I think there was another one the same. Don't remember where that went. So they may have come out of the same toolkit. And a lot of garages and mechanics did that because they had their own tools in large workshops. There's another one with 2 dots. So, you know, all of Fred's spanners may have had 2 dots punched into them. Sometimes they stamped their initials, which you would have used those little square punches we had before. And that was what they did back then. The workshops didn't supply tools, you had to supply your own. And even when I worked as a mechanic in the late 1980s, I had an A stamped on my spanners, and I've still got the odd one floating around. I cleaned this up a little bit. This is a Sydney manufacturer. It was a timber spirit level, and it's FR Low Sydney. I've cleaned it up a little bit. I didn't polish it too much, but I'll try and get 5 for that. It's a nice Aussie piece of brass. So some interesting bits there. The hammer did not have a brand on it. I did buff it up a little bit. It's been knocked around a bit, but I think we'll get 10 for that. The Army Box is actually earlier than I thought. I'm not sure why I said 1970s. I probably knew it was earlier than that. It's actually stamped here 1944, so it's World War II era, although they didn't really change the design of these metal boxes for quite a long time. It's magnificently clean inside. I think it's the best one I've ever had as far as condition goes. The latches work well, and I'm going to take that home. I think that will be useful storage at home. The newspaper I did look up. There's a number of them on eBay and they can't even get a few dollars, so I'll just put 5 on that in the shop. The chains, the 2 lengths of chain here, I'll go $5 each because they're really good solid chain for maybe chaining up your trailer to a tree so no one can pinch it or something like that. So that will be useful for someone. The shortbread tin, there was a few online for sale. I think I'll get 20 for that though. It's in great condition. And the pick of the haul today are these 2. This one's in excellent condition, and it was US made as I mentioned earlier, but it also has an Australian connection because this one was from an authorised distributor in Sydney. Unopened, still got the oil in it, great condition, probably early 1950s, and I think we'll get at least $50 for that. I did write down 40 on the notepad. I think I'll put it aside to eBay it, but if any of you guys that watch my channel are interested, I would do it at 40 plus postage. And this one, I'm also talking the same price. Now, this is actually a cardboard tube with the original rolled up rubber. One side, I think, has an adhesive on it. I haven't taken it out. Original cardboard tube. There wouldn't be too many of these around. I think this dates back to the 30s or so. And Leggett's was a company in Melbourne that made a lot of tyre repair stuff and rubber products. So in researching, I also found that Leggett's made spark plugs, but I don't know if that was the same company. But that's got to be a pretty rare piece. I couldn't find any online. So I'm going to ask $40 each for those 2 as far as my notepad goes, but I am going to not put them in a shop. I'll take them home and probably eBay them and probably start them at 50. Anyway, the notepad reads as follows, and you'll notice that I didn't put the Army Box on here because I decided to take that home. And there's a couple of other bits we pulled out, including a few files, but $210 worth today. And if we add in the box, the Army Box, I think I'd probably put $30 odd on that. Plus we have about 20 items at $2 each. That would take the total over $300. Not that we're keeping track of totals in this series, but it's interesting to know what comes out of each box. And we'll get some good shop stock here, unless of course you guys want any. So we'll wind up another episode now. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that. I do love unboxing tools and shed stuff. You just never know what you're going to get, like a box of chocolates. Next episode, ignore those manuals. I've started to sort out a few more out of the cupboard there. We will probably finish this. Geez, that made a noise. We'll probably finish this shelf next episode, which I might start in 5 minutes after I finish my sign off. There are some boxes down the bottom or some plastic tubs, but I think they've got like old mobile phones in them and chain and not sure, but I think we'll get through all of them in one episode. That will free up this steel shelf. I might use it to help me organise my Ford manuals as I unpack this cupboard behind. But that means that very shortly we'll be into this stack of milk crates, and there is vintage computer stuff. I think there's more shed bits and pieces, and I don't know what's in the ones in the corner because I can't get to them yet. I look forward to discovering with you what we have stashed in the corner. Until then, we'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.